All right, so you should have done number 2 on your own, and hopefully your work looks like that. You should end up with t minus 6 and t plus 2 as your binomials, and then the t plus 2 is going to give us an answer that doesn't make sense. So t equals 6 seconds. That's how long it's going to take for some object to hit the ground. I'm going to skip number 3, and I want to jump to number 4. Number 4 is just a little different. It kind of throws people off sometimes. I've got my equation here. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Notice it's not t anymore, it's actually x. And that's because we're talking about the distance that a kangaroo is jumping, right? We're talking about the distance that a kangaroo is jumping. So if you think about it, here's our kangaroo. A kangaroo jumps, and we're trying to figure out how far the kangaroo jumped on a horizontal distance. So it's still set at equal to 0, but you'll have a GCF here. And you notice your GCF is -2, but it's not just -2. It's actually -2x in this case. When you only have 2 terms and they both have an x in it, you've got to divide that -2x out. So -2x is a GCF. It goes out into the front. And when we divide by that, we're left with x plus, x minus 25, right? X minus 25, and it's still all equal to 0. When we solve this one, it's kind of silly because this guy just means it's 0, right? X equals 0 on that one. But that's obvious because he had only gone 0 feet before he jumped. That's why that one equals 0. The one we really care about is this guy. If we add 25 to both sides, right? If we add 25 to both sides, we have x equals 25. So really, that's a 25-foot jump. That's crazy. I'm not sure if kangaroos can actually jump 25 feet, but I'm sure Google could tell you. So that's pretty crazy. That's the horizontal distance, right? It's the horizontal distance that our kangaroo is jumping here is 25 feet. So that's what we're looking at for jumping and figuring out when someone hits the ground. One more here just to make sure we're awesome. What if it looks like this? X squared plus 3x plus 10. You're still trying to figure out here when Wendy's jumping off the diving board. It's a 10-meter platform, which is why that number is 10. But you might be tempted to try and factor this one as it is, but you still need to divide by something. You still want to get rid of this negative sign. It's really hard to factor if that negative is there. So to get rid of it, I'm just going to divide by -1. And when we do that, we're left with positive x squared minus 3x minus 10. And that equals 0, right? So now when we factor, we're going to do 1 times -10. That's -10. Factors of -10 that add up to -3 are -5 and 2. Hopefully they're getting better at that now. And we can jump straight to the binomials because our a value is a 1. Remember, that's the only time we're allowed to do that. So x minus 5 and x plus 2 should already be getting used to the fact that that plus 2 isn't going to give me anything because remember, when you solve it, x equals -2 doesn't make any sense. So really, we're looking at x equals positive 5. That's going to be the distance away on the diving board. So if you want to visualize that, here's Wendy on the top of our diving board, right? And what's happening is Wendy is jumping off the diving board from 10 meters, and that's the distance. That's our 5 right there. She is 5 meters away from the base of the diving board. That's what we're really calculating. So that's what we're looking at right now when it comes to our projectile motion and when something is going to hit the ground. We have another one here, number 6. Oh, skipped it there. Oh, I guess I got rid of number 6. Either way, what we're going to be looking at today is we want to look at when something hits the ground and when we get to a maximum height. So that's what we're going to move into our next video.